Hey, what's up guys? I'm Ari and today I wanted to talk about social anxiety. So I've dealt with social anxiety for a long time now and I feel like there's a lot of things that people don't know about it that might be able to help them cope with it. Social anxiety isn't something that you can actually get over, but it's something that you can learn to cope with. So let's talk about some things that you can do that I've done that might be able to help you overcome social anxiety in one way or another. So the first thing that I have to recommend everybody do is try to surround yourself with more positive people. People that encourage you, people that motivate you, people that inspire you, people that root for you, people that are just more positive. That positive energy is the kind of energy that you need to be around more often. And if one or two or three or more of your friends aren't supportive of you and aren't in that positive mindset, then you need to get rid of them. And I know this might seem very difficult and you might be like, well, I've been friends with this person for so many years. And to that, I actually say, really take a look at that friendship because sometimes you aren't getting as much as you're putting into the friendship or whatever relationship you might be in. It doesn't have to be a friendship, it could be an actual relationship. Are you happy when you're around that person? Or are you finding yourself kind of dealing with whatever negative comments they have to say to you? Really take that into consideration and then evaluate whether that person is worth keeping in your life or not. I've had to cut off some really important people in my life, not because they were necessarily bad people, but because the energy that they were giving me just wasn't right. I know family is a tough one because they're people that we can never really get rid of, but try to narrow down the time that you're spending with that person. And you don't have to get a mentor, but you should have at least that one friend that's rooting for you. What you're gonna find when you start surrounding yourself with other positive people is that you're gonna start thinking positively too. It's almost contagious the same way that being negative could be contagious too. So surround yourself with positive people, and that is the number one thing that I could recommend. Now, the next thing that you need to do is to try to force yourself into these social situations. Dealing with social anxiety is an issue in itself because you don't like being around people. And when you are around people, you're always constantly questioning whether they're judging you, whether what you said was wrong or you should have said it differently. We overanalyze everything in that situation and it's not a fun time. This is one of those times that having a positive friend is helpful because I found that when I've had to go, for instance, to a party that I wasn't familiar with a lot of the people there, I got one of my best friends to come along with me and I found that it was a lot easier to get through rather than just going by myself. Granted, you are gonna have to go to other events by yourself, so it's important that you do put yourself out there alone every now and then just so you could get used to it. However, in the beginning, it's okay if you tag along with that one person or with people that you feel comfortable with. That way you don't feel alone and the social anxiety won't be as bad. When you are alone in these situations and you are forcing yourself to socialize and to be in that environment where a lot of people are and you're questioning whether they're judging you or you're questioning the way that you're saying certain things, it's important to take this into consideration. Most people aren't paying attention to you. We overgeneralize. We think that everybody's thinking of us. We think about what we said the last time that we saw them. We think about all these things that don't even make any sense. But that's what anxiety does to our brain. It makes us think things that aren't real. So just keep this in mind when you're in these situations and try to battle that inside talk. If your inside talk is telling you, hey, you shouldn't have said that, like, that's kind of messed up. Just try to dissect it for a second and look at the evidence. If there's no evidence that you actually embarrass yourself, then cancel that out and move on, because 9 out of 10, that's not the case. The more that you force yourself into these situations of social settings, the easier it's gonna become for you. This doesn't mean that you have to say yes to every single outing. However, it does help to say yes every now and then. I forced myself to do things that I haven't really wanted to do, but I felt that once I come back that I feel a little bit better just because I went. It doesn't mean that I necessarily had a great time, but the fact that I put myself out there actually means something. Something else that has actually helped me better my social anxiety is asking questions. Asking questions really helps put the attention on the other person rather than on yourself. So this is a tactic that I've been using for several years now and it's worked tremendously for me. And it's just become sort of a habit. Now I just ask questions all the time. It gets the other person talking. People end up liking you because they love getting asked questions. They love talking about themselves. And obviously this doesn't apply to every situation. Not everyone's gonna like you, and not everyone's gonna want to talk about themselves. You might run into somebody like you, somebody that doesn't want to talk, or somebody with social anxiety. And that's okay. In those situations, it might not work, but it is something that tends to work for the majority of people. So the next thing that's helped my social anxiety and really my anxiety overall is CBD. Now, CBD is basically marijuana without the THC, which is a chemical that makes you high. As somebody who doesn't enjoy being high, but likes the effects of just being calm and chilled out, CBD basically does that for you. It's legal, you could take it anywhere, you could consume it, you could vape it. There are a ton of ways to take CBD, so I highly recommend it if you're somebody who is just running out of options and you don't know what to do at this point. CBD is something that has helped calm me down, and it's not like my anxiety medication that makes me drowsy. I stopped taking my anxiety medication because it would just kind of put me to sleep. However, I don't really enjoy that effect. So I found that CBD calms me down without making me drowsy. It basically just loosens you up a little bit. And CBD has done this for me in job interviews, in party situations, or just generally when I'm feeling very anxious that day. I personally use CBDFX.com. They're a company that I've been using for several months now. There's a link in the description. I don't get anything if you buy from them. This is a completely unaffiliated link, but I do recommend them because they have great customer service and they have some incredible products. They also have 10% off most of the time, so check that out. I also did a video about CBD, so check that out somewhere on this video. I'm also gonna leave a link in the description for you to check out. And last but not least, something that has helped my social anxiety tremendously, therapy. Therapy has helped me a lot over the years, and my therapist has kind of helped me deconstruct some of my irrational thoughts. There are some programs out there where you just pay a percentage of the cost and the government covers the rest, because there are some clinics out there that work with the government and the government funds them. So you only pay a small portion of it depending on your income. And if you're low income, you're gonna end up paying a lot less. Therapy is something that I recommend everyone, even if you don't have a mental illness or you don't suffer from social anxiety. I think it's something that everyone could benefit from. But if you have social anxiety, it's definitely something that you should take a look into or talk to somebody. You don't have to go to therapy, but maybe if you have a close friend, talk to them. And just knowing that you have someone that you can go to, that you can relate to, helps a lot. So if you're the average person without social anxiety and you feel uncomfortable in situations where you don't know anybody, in parties where you're unfamiliar with people there, just think about how somebody with social anxiety would feel in that situation. Anyway, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. Please give this a big thumbs up if you can. I would really appreciate it. It would mean a lot to me. Take care, and I'll see you guys next time.